welcome back to your next episode of Bloodwork. We've had a little bit of a break following the very sad loss of my cat Toby, but I've got some lovely footage of him helping me film a previous episode to put in at the end, which helps me make this feel a bit better. So for those who are new here, the point in this series of videos is to talk about the latest advancements in blood cancer research in a way that's accessible for those who are not experts but nevertheless have an interest in this. And today I want to talk to you about stem cell transplantation. So this is slightly different to what I've been talking about on the last few episodes, focusing on specific leukemias, because actually stem cell transplantation is important in a lot of different blood cancers, especially the acute leukemias. A lot of patients will receive stem cell transplantations. You may have also heard of this as bone marrow transplants. This is slightly less actually what's done now. Doctors try to avoid doing bone marrow transplantation because we're able to mobilise the stem cells from our donors and then retrieve them using a device which essentially filters out the cells that we actually want, which is a lot less painful and intrusive for our healthy donors. And this is how we're going to actually retrieve stem cells for what's called allogeneic stem cell transplants. This means when a different person is giving the leukemia patient their stem cells. And this is a brilliant technique because it enables our patients to regrow new blood cells that they require to live after very intensive chemotherapies to get rid of all of the nasty cells in their bone marrow. But also it has this incredible power that's called graft-versus-leukemia, where the cells from the transplant will actually go and hunt down the leukemia cells because the immune system is really great at hunting things down. Unfortunately, this does come with a problem, and that is graft-versus-host disease. This is the same idea where the donor stem cells, the cells derived from it, the immune cells, are actually going to hunt down and kill other cells. But in this case, it's actually going to be healthy cells within the body. And this is actually one of the leading non-leukemia causes of death in leukemia patients. So one of the things that researchers are really focusing on in this area is how to reduce this graft-versus-host disease so that more people can have successful stem cell transplants without this danger of graft-versus-host disease. Not everyone gets graft-versus-host disease, but for those who do, it can range from some nasty side effects right up to life-threatening. So the paper that I want to talk about today was recently published in Blood Journal. And in this paper, the authors actually had a look at what's going on in the immune cells of patients who had acute graft-versus-host disease. And one of the things that they found is that a type of immune cell called T cells are expressing a certain marker on them. They've got a little flag. This was especially the case in those T cells that have gone to the guts of these patients, which is one of the sites that was having really bad side effects for these patients. And this flag that they found is a protein called CD47. And what CD47 does is say to the body, "Don't eat me." And the problem in this case is that that means that the cells which could go and destroy these unwelcome attacking cells are not doing that. So these are the macrophages. Macrophages are a type of cell that just comes along and eats things, which is great normally, but not when these cells have got this "don't eat me" flag. And the authors thought about this and said, well, what if we can get rid of this flag? What if we can block it, and then the macrophages might start eating these T cells again? And that's exactly what they did, and they used an antibody therapy to block this CD47 on the donor-derived T cells that were causing all sorts of havoc in the guts of these patients. In this case, they actually just used a mouse model to test this because they weren't ready to go into patients just yet. But this actually restored the macrophages eating these cells again, which is really encouraging actually. It means that there might be able to be a way to restore this balance. And one of the things that's actually quite good about this is that some leukemias also overexpress this don't eat me mark, so they might be more resistant to this graft versus leukemia effect as well. So one of the things when trying to cure graft versus host disease that's a bit of a challenge is that actually we don't want to eliminate this graft versus leukemia effect, where the donor cells are destroying the cancerous cells, because actually that's one of the ways in which stem cell transplant is going to help these patients find a cure. So it's got to be a balancing act. You want as much of the cancer destroyed as possible by the donor-derived immune cells, but what you don't want to do is have the healthy cells affected. And this is something we always are thinking about and trying to make work in any kind of cancer treatment. We want to just specifically target the cancer, not the healthy cells. And it's what's really difficult, because a lot of the time those cancerous cells are quite similar to the healthy cells. So finding specific things like this CD47 don't eat me flag, it really means that we can get the right cells to be targeted to the right places. In this case, hopefully destroying the leukemia cells, but also these overactive T cells that are coming from the stem cell transplant and giving these patients graft versus host disease. So I'm just going to keep it there, nice and brief today, and I will see you next month. And this can be really important in cancer, because these get... Hello, Toby. Hello, Toby. Hello, Toby. Hello, Toby. You staying in with me? You gonna settle down? Okay? Okay, you want to come sit with me? You can be on the video if you want to. Come on then. Come here. You come and sit with me. Yeah? You sit down. There we go. Here we